I'm going to show you how to make a small button to go on your website. Now, buttons are not seen that often on websites anymore, but they are part of the criteria for this course. And we're going to use a button down here, a rollover button, which changes when you put your mouse over it, to say next section. And we'll use it on every page to go to the next section along. So it's another way of navigating through the site. So you will have to think about how you can make some use of buttons or something that you've made outside of Web Plus and brought in to navigate, as well as your navigation bar. I would say you don't want to go over the top with this because it can look a bit naff. So let's have a go at making something in Draw Plus that we can bring across. So in Web Plus, my scale is in pixels. So this web page is about 960 pixels wide. So in Draw Plus, you should be quite familiar with Draw Plus from the graphics unit. And I'm just going to set my ruler under layout, I think. I'm going to set my ruler to be pixels, so it's the same. And OK. And hopefully that will work. We had a few issues at school getting that to work, but hopefully that will be OK for you. And this is actually an A4 page. I'm going to draw a small rectangle on that's about, well, let's have a look on Web Plus. Let's make it about 150 pixels wide. So if I started at 700 there, it would go across to 850 here. So just quite small. So I'm going to draw a box that's about 150 pixels wide. And you can just choose a height that you like. Now I want that to be the same green that I'm using on my website. I'm going to zoom in a bit on this. I want this shape to be the same colour I've got on my website, and I can do that by checking the values of the colour. So up here, if I say choose this green fill that I've got here, I'm not sure about this green, but I'm going to keep using it. This fill colour, there's different ways of looking at that colour. So if I choose RGB, I can get the red, green and blue values for that colour, the amount of red, green and blue in that colour. And I can see the numbers there. So red is 94, green is 142 and blue is 35. So in Draw Plus, if I double click on the fill, I can put in the values here. Is it 92? I'm going to have to go and look. 94, 142. That's what happens is you start forgetting things at my age. 142. And the last one was, you'll be shouting it at me, 35. Okay, so let's see if that's looking the same colour as in Web Plus, and it is, it's the same sort of green. So if I say OK, I've managed to get the same colour. So that's one way of getting the same colour if it's makes it easier for you. Now I'm going to add some text on top. So I'm going to use some text here, and it's going to say, oops, I'm going to click off there. I'm going to click off the box and add the text layered on top. It's going to say next section. And then you can play around with it. So maybe that's a bit too deep. Let's make it quite small, this button. And the font really ought to be my heading font. So that is Georgia. So let's go and put my font as Georgia. So I'll have to find it in here. And do be creative with your fonts. There's absolutely loads that you can choose from. And I think that would look better in white. So let's go and get a white for the writing. And I don't particularly like the black line on the box, but you might like that there. Let's put a white, oops, undo that. Click the line and put a white line around that. So that's a very simple little button. And I'm going to just group that. No, I'm just going to copy it actually. I'm going to copy that and just paste it below. So I've pasted it, and don't forget in Draw Plus when you paste it goes on top. And let's just invert the colours in this when I've pasted it. So this might seem a bit odd, but I'm going to pick up the green with the colour picker, and let's make the writing that green. So I'm clicking on the fill and then on the green that I've picked up. And I've not gone mad. I'm going to now make the background box white. So if I do that. So it's swapped round. So it's got the inverted colours. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to save those two little buttons as two images. So let's save this one. first of all. So you should know how to export images. We've done lots of this in the graphics unit. Export as image. It's being a bit slow. Okay, you can choose which kind of format you want. Again, you should know about this from the graphics unit. If you want the see-through background, don't forget something like PNG will work. This is absolutely fine, JPEG for mine. I'm going to export it. And I'm going to go and choose where I want to put it. So just bear with me while I do this. That's not right. So I'll just find my memory stick. BTEC Unit 3. Let's make a new folder for buttons. So this is going to be button 1. And now I'm going to export this. Now just be careful if you have chosen white like me that you grab the background as well. File, export. This is going to be button 2. Okay, so now I've got 2 versions of my button exported from Draw Plus. If I go back to Web Plus, let's have a go adding a rollover image. So I'm going to go Insert, Interactive Object, Rollover. And its normal state, how it will appear on the page, is going to be button 1. So let's browse, and we'll go and find button 1. So we're going to look in Computer. I'm looking on my memory stick, but you can look where you've saved yours. And then when you put your mouse over, I'm going to have it doing the white version, button 2. Now I want that to link to the next page on the site. So in this case, it would go to section page 2. So let's go site page. I'm on hyperlink, section page 2, and it would go on to the next page and say OK. And I'm just going to click down the bottom of the page here and draw it in. And perhaps I'm going to line that up on this side as well with the other items. When you put it near, that red line appears to help you line it up. Let's just see if that works. So if I preview my site, I need to scroll down. If I click on next section, if I put my mouse over it, it's doing the rollover. Click on next section. Oh, that is to do with my browser. That has worked. So you could try that out for yourself. Now that's quite complicated. You might want to watch this tutorial again. But basically, you're using Draw Plus to make 2 versions of a button. And then in Web Plus, you're using the Insert Interactive Object Rollover to add the button and to link. You can, if you prefer, just add an object that's not a rollover, that's just a design that you've made in something like Draw Plus, or you could use a website like Cool Text and save an image from there, and then you can right click and hyperlink to another page in the site. Have a go at that one.